Here's in part what AB said in a statement released by his camp yesterday. Quote, I took a seat on the sideline and my coach came up to me very upset and shouted, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I told him it's my ankle, but he knew that. It was well documented and we had discussed it, Brown said. He then ordered me to get on the field. I said, "Coach, I can't." He didn't call for medical attention. Instead, he shouted at me, "You're done," while he ran his finger across his throat. Coach was telling me that if I didn't play hurt, I was done with the Bucs. So this is AB's side of the story. And the reason, Key, that I referred to AB in the last segment, we're talking about Kyrie, is we're talking about reputations following players, right? And we could forget about Kyrie because you could say, well, it's unfair in Kyrie's case. But in AB's case, assumptions are made based on his history of behavior. Now we're hearing from AB. What do you think about his statement?
Well, first of all, what I'm going to say is I'm not an English major. So, but I do know.
Wait, why is that relevant?
Because the statement was released on AB's social media account, and it looked very professional, so to speak. And it's not, a lot of I's dotted the right way, a lot of commas in the right places, all those sort of things.
Kellerman and Johnson Associates.
It looks like a perfectly written statement. With that being said, yes, AB has had a history of issues with teams in front office personnel. But that doesn't make him wrong in this particular instance. Because if what he's saying is true, if he has an MRI, and if we all know AB, and he has receipts, so to speak, from medical officials, and he has text messages communicating with the Buccaneers and the staff, as he alluded to, and it says that, hey, something is wrong seriously with my ankle, and these are the issues, and he releases those things like we know AB to do, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Bruce Arians are going to have to answer a lot of questions. His behavior of running off the field is not acceptable. He could have very well sat on the bench, went into the locker room, changed his clothes, came back out. It dealt with it more in a professional manner inside the locker room, the way that I would have handled it. If I wanted to curse their butts out, I would have done it at the end of the game and put them in their place. But some people are different. Some people handle situations different. Now, I don't think that he would just make this particular stuff up and say his ankle needs surgery and the bones are sticking out and ligaments are torn off the bone. That's a lot, right? That's egregious. That's a lot to say that the coaching staff and the medical staff wanted you to go back into the game, even though you've already taken painkillers and things to get you ready to play, and then this is happening to you. And then they have the paper trail saying that this is what's wrong with you. It's going to be an issue.
Key, I want to follow up quickly because I have a question for Jay, but I want to follow up quickly. We see him running off the field, and they addressed that in the statement, right? Adrenaline's pumping. It's not the same as making a football move.
Absolutely.
On the other hand, the standards in football, like in boxing, by the way, like in combat sports in a way, because it is full contact, the standards for players, to me, it's different than like basketball or baseball or something. You're expected to play through pain. He looks like when fans see him running like that, they're like, hold up, time out. Looks like you can run. What's your quick thought on that?
Well, like the statement says, yeah, he might be able to jog. He ain't going 50 miles an hour as if he would be playing in a football game. He is not coming to a dead stop and changing directions like he would do in an actual football game. I broke my ankle and I was still able to limp to a degree into the locker room and put enough weight on it. And if you saw me, it was like, oh, it's a sprained ankle. No, it was broken. So it's you got to be careful when you start trying to play medical doctor from the stands.
Yeah, just because he's jogging. Jay, everything Key is saying is right.
Yeah.
If the evidence will come out, and we will see if the Bucs have some explaining to do.
Well, that's what we need to see.
On the other hand, doesn't matter what he's done in the past. He may be right in this case. On the other hand, your past does follow you. And he's not credible with me. Like, I need to see. It's not like just because he says something now I believe it. I want to see what happens. What's your feeling about, where AB is in all this?
Well, frankly, after reading his message yesterday, Key, I'm like, okay, I want to hear from the doctor in New York City. And I know there's HIPAA things and that sort, but I want to hear from professionals about what the evaluation actually is to understand it more so. I said this yesterday, though, there's still, and Key, I'm glad you addressed that. You said there is a way to handle conflict, but I do think the tough-minded mentality of Bruce Arians, if he did put his thumb across his throat and say, you're done, understanding who AB is and how he will react that way, if he does have the evidence, that will be a poor showing for the Tampa Bay Bucs. And what it does bring into the situation afterwards, too, is, and AB talked about this in his message, people talking about, he has to get help, right? And hearing that, I jumped to that conclusion yesterday, and I'll be the first to admit it. There's something to me taking off your shirt and running off the field, even if you're angry. But Key, let's be real about it. We'll be transparent.
Something is clearly wrong.
I go back to that, Key. I go back to that, right? But if that is the case, and there is something that got him to that point for him to react that way, and he does have evidence, then I'll be the first to issue him an apology. Word
Jay,
up, real talk.
Man, certain things trigger certain people, and you have to know how to handle and deal with certain people. Bruce Arians may have told him, you're done, you're cut with the throat slash because I'm tired of dealing with you. It's been something every single time I look up with you. In the heat of the moment, they're losing to the New York Jets. Think about what I just said. They're losing to the New York Jets.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.